Alright, so you guys saw last video of my stuff. I got the motor all set, the Predator fuel tank modified and ready to go. The frame is still in this miserable state right here. So I needed a few things which I got today. Some 3/16 plate steel right here. Probably could have got 1/8 inch. I think this is 1/8 here, but I wanted to go a little heavier, so I'm going with the 3/16. It's obviously way too big. I'm gonna have to cut it. I'm just gonna use like an angle grinder. It should work out all right. And I'll cut some slots in it for the motor holes. I stripped the wheels this morning. I used this aircraft remover paint stripper. Worked pretty good. I got to use it on the rest of this. It came off good. I used this on the fork already, so I already know this paint is going to work pretty well for it. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this out and take this paint off. Just a heads up so you know, this aircraft remover paint stripper says do not use on aircraft. So. Frame's looking pretty good. It took a lot longer than I thought with that the paint stripper. I probably put about, honestly, probably about 3 hours into getting it where it is right now. So the next step is I have to make the new motor plate. I waited till after I stripped all the paint because, you know, why not? Then I have good surface to weld onto. Here's the old one, cut it out. The height on the old one is good. As you can see, I had some 1x2 blocks holding it up to get the height that I want. So I'm just going to emulate that now, but I'm going to just raise the whole plate up so that I don't have to use the blocks at all. I will have to use this just to mock it up a little bit to get an idea as to where it was. I'm pretty sure I know where, but everything is so crooked on these frames. These doodlebug frames are, you know, this is like a modern Chinese one. It's not a retro vintage one. Yeah, everything is so crooked, so it's going to take some figuring to get the motor pretty square so that it's square onto the sprocket. Alright, so I got the piece cut out. I cleaned up the edges a little bit just so I'm not cutting myself on the bench grinder, and I took some preliminary measurements to get the plate the same height as it was before, the top of these 1x2 pieces, to get that level the same for the motor. It looks like I'm going to just have to make a piece that's 1 inch and 7/16 tall to raise it off of this crossbar here. And so far it looks like I'm going to get lucky. I'm going to be able to just have the plate welded directly onto this cross member here. So I was going to do it out of some angle iron, but I kind of really don't have what I thought I did and what I need. So I'm just going to again cut it off of this 3/16 plate that I used to make the motor plate off of. Alright, so here's what we got so far. The motor plate is welded to this this piece here, which is going to just raise it up to the height that I need. It's not welded to the frame at all yet, but it is welded. These two are welded together. So what I'm going to have to do next is I put the rear wheel on with a sprocket. What I'm going to have to do is put the motor on here. So what I'm probably going to do is just get it, eyeball it to being square, which is hard to do because everything is like totally crooked on these. So I'm just going to go basically off of this cross member here and then put the motor on, line the chain up. I'll have to tack this so it doesn't move, and then yeah, so then I'll have to figure out where the holes are going to go, and shouldn't be too bad. Alright, put the motor in after we tacked up the motor plate and run into a slight issue, nothing major, but I probably won't pick up on camera, but you can see the rear sprocket doesn't line up to the front sprocket. The motor wants to kick over to the right more, but it can't because one of the tabs for the torque converter cover plate is interfering on the motor plate, which makes sense because before I had the motor up 1 inch off the motor plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some marks there and just relieve the motor plate to make sure that that clip can recess in. I'm probably only going to need about 1/2 inch or maybe 3/4 of an inch more. Okay, so I cut that little piece out, a little chunk out. That should be good enough. Let's see what we got going on. We got Scott over today, getting some work in the Motovox. What do we got going on right now? We're doing the
sprocket.
Sprocket?
Yeah, so I bought a new sprocket here that I'm going to adapt to the old one. So I'm drilling some holes.
Let's see, we got this thing up in the drill press.
Yeah, so I marked some center lines, got everything measured up. And then this is going to sit right on top of there. So I'm going to chop these off. Should work pretty well. We'll see how it goes.
Cool. Looks nice. Okay, so we got the chain lined up now. That relief cut worked out perfect for that little clip right there. Just gave it a little extra room forward and backward. Why not? So what I'm doing now is just trying to figure out where my motor's going to stay. I just took a little Sharpie. Just, you know, made a little edge there. So then I'll have to measure the base of the motor and come up with my bolt holes. So it's coming along. Alright, I got my holes drilled. I didn't check the motor yet, but I'm pretty sure they're good. I took the dimensions off of the box for the spread. And it was like 3 inches width by I think like 6 3/8 long. So I'm just gonna have this tacked on. I'm just gonna go ahead and weld it on, and then hopefully put the motor on, and everything should line up perfect. Okay, so at this point the motor plate's done. I got the holes drilled, 5/16 holes. Everything's welded up nice. I have holes and not slots for adjusting the motor. I am adjusting my chain tension with, I put in a chain tensioner. I ran it last year, worked pretty good. Just have a little idler sprocket there, and yeah, it works pretty good. So I'm going to let this cool down a little more and put the motor on and hope everything lines up good. So yeah, the motor's mounted up. It seems to be pretty good. I got the chain on, chain tensioner just installed for now. It seems a little tight, so I don't know if it'll break in nice, or I might have to make some more adjustments. So all else I want to do on the frame before I paint it is I want to come up with some kind of little tab hanger for the exhaust. It's going to be pretty easy. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do, but yeah, I got to do something for that. Some kind of little tab I'll bolt through just to support it, because it's pretty long and I don't want it vibrating and, you know, cracking up here or doing damage to the studs or something. And then what else I have to do is come up with a chain tensioner. I mean, not a chain tensioner, a chain guard. Yeah, again, that won't be hard. Probably just some 1 inch or 1.25 inch wide, and then try to contour it a little bit, and then just weld some tabs to the frame. But yeah, that's about it for tonight. I'll probably get back into it tomorrow and hopefully finish up the frame so I'm ready to paint it.